Alright, beef with ginger and spring onions. What I've got is a couple of sirloin steaks. This is British 21-day matured beef sirloin, which is really good. What I'll need to do though first is to trim off the fat and connective tissue from the edge of the steaks before I sort that out, but I'll show you that in a minute. In addition, I've got there's about 6 or 7 trimmed up spring onions there ready to go. There's about 2 ice cubes worth of ginger which have been previously ground up and frozen. Alright, I've just thawed that out, so that's basically just grated fresh ginger that's just been thawed out. There's a single fat clove of garlic which I'm chopping up. First of all I split it lengthways down the middle that way, and then I chop it like that because I'm after that kind of shape. Not terribly important, but all looks better in the finished dish. Similarly, I've chopped up just a little bit of carrot, and you'll see it's into little slivers which are rather nice. I'm going to keep in line with the shape of this and the pieces of spring onion. You'll need some oil for frying. I've got a teaspoon each of these different soy sauces. You can mix them up or you can use your favourite soy sauce, it's up to you. I prefer to mix them up to get a nice depth of flavour. Again, I'm using a Thai Healthy Boy brand mushroom soy sauce, a premium mushroom soy sauce, which I really love. And I've got the Golden Mountain seasoning sauce, which is another soy based sauce, very good, that's got no MSG in it. And I've got a good quality Chinese light soy sauce, which I use for everything. That's why it's in that container. Alright, first of all I'm going to I've chopped up the ginger, I've shown you that. Let me start on the steak, get that out of the way. Okay, first of all I'm going to trim off just that outer bit of skin, fat and connective tissue. Don't need that bit. And same with this one. You get the feel for it after a while, you'll know which bits to cut off. There you go, so that goes off to one side and that can be thrown. And then, as before with my other videos, what I like to do with a steak is I sort of lay the knife onto the meat, tilt it back, and then just take a slice off like that. It really makes the steak really nice for stir frying, like that. So I'll go along and I'll do the rest of that. Onto the second steak, same drill of course. Alright, that's got the steak chopped up nicely. What we'll do now is we'll get that into a little bowl, and in goes our garlic, in goes our ginger. Nice and gingery this one. Beef and ginger go really well together, but you'll know that when you try this dish, because you are going to try it, aren't you, boys and girls? Of course you are. Right, and into that goes your soy sauce. Nothing shy here. Now you don't want to put any wine in this one. In my other Cantonese ones I've suggested you put wine into some of the meats, but really no wine into this. The principal flavourings in this one are soy sauce, ginger and garlic, and of course the spring onions, which give the dish its name. You might call them green onions, you might call them scythe, depends where you are in the world, but we all know what they are, don't we, boys and girls? They're all the same thing. Okay, once we've got all that mixed in, we want now to marinate that for about an hour. You don't need to marinate it for long because the meat's cut up really fine. And I'll put that to one side and we'll get on and do the spring onions. What I like to do with the spring onions is I like to lay them like that and take the knife along the whole length. Like that. Alright. And then you can take the knife the whole length again, along there, along the inside. Alright, and the same with these. Okay, there you go. And then what we do with those is we cut them into half and then half again. So we want them in kind of matchstick size strips, like that. So then we just get on and do the rest. Might be easy to manage if you chop them into shorter lengths like that. Try that, shall we? We learn as we go. Yeah, that's actually quite easier. And if you get a small spring onion, you don't need to quarter it, you just need to chop it like that, look. There you go. Actually, spring onions all chopped up nicely. You've got your carrot chopped up nicely and you've got your beef ready to go. Cantonese food, Chinese food is a lot about the preparation, and as with a lot of Cantonese dishes, this one is mostly about preparation and you need very little cooking time at all, really. I think this goes back to the days when probably during the Long March in China they only had a few seconds actually time on the fire to cook their family's food, so everything had to be chopped up and ready to go and cook in no time at all. A lot of old Chinese dishes, a lot of old traditional Chinese dishes are long time cooked and braised, and I think the stir frying method came down from that tradition of not having much time to spend actually on the fire and not much fuel to spare for everyone to cook their food. So out of that terrible tragedy came perhaps some of the healthiest food known to man at the moment, because Cantonese food is really good for you. Alright, so now we need to shift focus over to the cooker and let's get on and cook this bad boy. Alright, the wok's coming up to good heat. I need to get some vegetable oil into that. The best one to use is groundnut oil. I've got none, so I'm just using some sunflower oil. And you just need about a couple of tablespoons of that. Swill it round. Probably not even 2 tablespoons, maybe just 1 tablespoon. And straight into that with your beef. And that's got to hit the pan sizzling. There you go. Get all the good stuff out your marinade. That's ready to go. You'll see I've got my fry pan doubling up as a wok again. If you look at my other Asian food videos, you'll see why. It's because I find that this particular fry pan works better than a wok on this particular type of cooker. And these pans are rather good at conducting heat, so you need to get that in, get it turning, and get that cooking off. Like a lot of Cantonese food, it really doesn't take long to cook. Keep it moving, keep it turning until you see no pink left on the meat. We're not far off that stage right now. Now it's time to introduce the carrot. The carrots, they're mainly for colour. It adds a tiny flavour contrast, but it's really there to brighten up the dish, the way it looks as a finished dish. So now we're getting the spring onions, leaving only a handful behind, like a half handful behind, yeah? So just leave those as a garnish. And get that stirring. Okay, this dish does not take long to do at all. The smell of that ginger is coming up lovely now. What I want to do at this stage is I just want to add a little bit, splash more of soy sauce, no more than a teaspoon or two at that stage. Oh, fantastic, I love that smell when that hits. So that's really just about ready to go. The last thing, I've used a couple of teaspoons of corn flour, which I've thickened up, which I've mixed with some water, and that will go. That's just cornstarch straight in there. Tip that in, that starts to thicken up immediately. So the next thing we need to do is get a little bit more water in there. Not too much, about a quarter of a cup of water. Right, so what I've done is I've got it to this stage and that's almost ready now to serve. But what I find is that is a little insipid looking for my taste, so I want to get it looking a little bit better. So give me a second, I'll get some dark soy sauce. Okay, what I'm using is this. It says Superior Dark Soy Sauce, and I probably want less than a teaspoonful of that. About half a teaspoon of dark soy sauce straight in there. Now watch the contrast that makes in colour instantly. Alright, the last thing I want to do with that now is add a little bit more water. Add in another quarter cup. Let that now form a nice sauce. That is now ready to go, boys and girls. I'll just show you that served up. So there you have it served up, and of course the last thing we do is we take that last half handful of spring onions and we garnish the top, and like that. So you've got the cooked onion actually in the dish, and you've got the fresh spring onion as a garnish on top. So that's it, beef with spring onions and ginger. Enjoy. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe and be sure to click the bell icon to receive notification of all my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.